Eyes blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Eyes blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the tide. Like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the tide. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic. Skies blue like the Atlantic, and I'm going down like the Titanic.
I'm mad at Disney, they tricked me, had me wishing on a shooting star. But now I'm 20-something, I still know nothing about who I am or what I'm not. So call me a pessimist, but I don't believe in it. Finding a true love's kiss is bullshit. 'Cause I felt sad love, I felt bad love. Sometimes happy love turns into giving up. I felt hurt love, got the word love. What the hell is love supposed to feel like? What the hell is love? What the hell is love? What the hell is love supposed to feel like?
Carry me away to the castle, where we will live happily ever after.
My fairy grandma warned me Cinderella's story only ended in a bad divorce. The prince ain't sleeping when he takes his sleeping beauty to the motel on his Snow White horse. So call me a pessimist, but I don't believe in it. Finding a true love's kiss is bullshit. 'Cause I felt sad love, I felt bad love. Sometimes happy love turns into giving up. I felt hurt love, got the word love. What the hell is love supposed to feel like? What the hell is love? What the hell is love? What the hell is love supposed to feel like? What the hell is love? What the hell is love?
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the ninth episode of Project L.E.A.D. I'm your host for today. My name is Mohammed Haaziq. I'm from the 18th Student Council, a publicity officer. And today's topic will be talking about building trust in groups. Trust is something that's a very large word in my perspective, and I feel that trust isn't something that you can attain overnight when you meet someone. So let's see what these three panelists have to say about trust today. So I'm here with my co-host today, Garrick.
Hi everyone, I'm your co-host Garrick,
Garrick, you
one of the
muted.
vice presidents.
It's okay, that was me last week. So,
Am I still muted?
oh, you're
Testing,
still muted.
testing.
Okay, let's just wait for a while, okay? But yeah, so today's topic is about trust, and trust is something that, all of us can agree on that it's like, okay, wow, that's a big word. And to achieve it is something that you obviously have to know the person beforehand. So, Gary, are you ready to start?
Can you hear me now?
Oh my god,
Is
you're
it still not
muted
working?
though.
Can the rest of the people hear me?
Okay, can you try and say something?
Testing, testing.
Okay, nice. Okay, it's working now.
Alright, hi everyone, I'm your co-host Garrick, one of the vice presidents of the 18th Student Council. And I'd like to once again thank all three panelists for joining us today on this webinar series. So today's episode will feature Sharifa, the president of Pentas Karyawan, IG, Sarah, the vice president of Replug IG, as well as Rekha, the vice president of Style Groovaz Crew IG. Welcome once again. For today's topic, we'll be covering the aspect of building trust in your groups. As we have heard before, trust is a fundamental building block, and it can really be used as a foundation for future growth for all the aspiring student leaders in RP. But how do these student leaders from Republic Poly build trust within their community, clubs, and IGs? And what are some of the impacts of doing such? So for the first question to get the ball rolling, what is trust an important factor in your own respective IGs?
Hi, so my name is Aliyah, President for PK, Pentas Karyawan. So for the first question, honestly, I really feel that trust is actually the basis of many things, such as like honoring someone, respecting someone, or to care for someone. So without like having trust, we can't really develop these qualities. Also, I feel like without trust, it's very hard for us to actually develop bonds and relationships within like people in our IG. So without trust, it's really like things will really not go the way like we want it to be. So to me, like trust is really important. Yeah.
Rekha, I'm the Vice President of SGC. So yes, for me, trust is very important because with respect comes trust. I think in order to work well with like one another and to be able to contribute ideas to the IG together with my other committee members, we'll need to gain each other's trust and trust that we'll be able to make the best decisions together for the future of the IG.
Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay, hi guys, my name is Sarah. I'm the Vice President of Replug. So to answer the question, of course, um, building trust in your IG is very important because to me and to everyone, without trust, there's no teamwork, there's no communication. So like what Aliyah has mentioned earlier on, like trust is always the basis for you to communicate well and to ensure that everything is done smoothly and yeah.
Yep, some interesting points brought up by the panelists. Trust truly comes hand in hand with respect, communication, and teamwork. They really work together to form such a cohesive team. Wouldn't you agree, Haaziq?
Of course. So with that, right, how do you actually ensure that there is trust between your year ones and excos? Since now it's the pandemic and everything is online, it's pretty difficult to gain their trust and for them to trust you.
Since COVID-19 happened, a lot of our engagements have been done online, and for SGC, it's actually really difficult since we do a lot of physical things together, like dancing and PT. So to ensure trust, this is where like welfare comes in mind. So as the vice president of welfare, I have a team of welfare heads under me, and as a team, we work together to ensure that the freshies are able to communicate with each other. And with the online engagements being really difficult, we actually do plan out things such as like welcome session and bonding sessions that happen online. And we actually further split the freshies into smaller groups so that it's easier for them to communicate with each other. And in these groups, they have their own mentors who they can communicate with, so that if let's say they don't feel comfortable coming to the exco straight, they can just go to their mentors first and talk to them. For excos, I think like we ensure that trust is done like with our committee by sharing our problems with one another and helping each other with the given task.
I see. I think it's really good that y'all actually split the year ones to a mentee mentor kind of thing, and that they have a smaller group. Because I know when I were to talk to a lot of people in the exco, and it'll be kind of awkward, and I'll be pretty shy. So I think it's good that y'all have this system along with the excos kind of thing where y'all just communicate with one another. So what about Pentas Karyawan?
For PK and also like for me personally, I feel like to develop trust in someone, especially in people like you don't really know, especially like for the new members, it will actually take time. So what we have to do first is like you have to actually create the bond with them first, especially with the new members. We really need to create the bond and ensure that they can trust us enough or they are comfortable with us. Only then that they will actually try to like develop this trust that we have like between the exco members and the new members. Yeah, so it's like what PK do also. We actually did the same thing like what I think SGC did. Yeah, we actually create the mentee mentor group. So we divided the freshies, the new members into like different groups so that they will be more comfortable to actually talk with us. So like when they talk, they won't talk like to a number of people. They will just talk like maybe five freshies to one senior. So if they have any problems or they don't feel comfortable with anything, they can approach us. Also like we regularly have different types of like online activities due to like the COVID situation. We can't really have outings, so we have like online activities for them to actually bond with us. So with this bond, slowly we will develop the trust with each other. Yeah.
I see. So it's the same case for SGC lah. Y'all have this whole like mentee mentor thing where it's easier for them to speak up with their own mentors in the group. And so is that the same case for Replug IG?
Yeah, for Replug IG, basically for all the juniors that basically for the juniors, the year ones, they have to go through a normal audition before they have to go through another second round of audition before we call them our own lah, our own batch of new freshies. So one thing that we have is basically this mentee mentors thingy whereby we have our mentors to always guide them in terms of musicality, the technicality before they prepare themselves for their band auditions. So usually how me as the vice president and I have a welfare head under me, we always check on them how they are doing, and also we always let them know that we are open to critics and questions from them. So from these critics and questions from them, we would know what we should improve as expos or as seniors ourselves. Yeah.
Ah, I see. So it's sort of like a feedback kind of thing, I guess. When you have this kind of mentee mentor, and I like how like before y'all actually have the auditions for the year ones, there are mentors who actually help them out and guide them through, so that they can actually build that trust beforehand. So okay, with that, do you agree, Garrick?
Definitely. Communication is really a key foundation to building trust, especially in IGs and clubs. So this brings us on onto the next question. What are some challenges you face when communicating with the respective groups of people in your own clubs?
For this question, I feel like one of the main challenges that we actually face is basically trying to get what you want to say across, like trying to get like example, if I say A, the person may perceive it as B or as C, because like to do it online it's very hard to really enforce what you want to say, or like to actually like put in the emotion like you want to put into what you are saying. So it actually is very hard like, especially with the members, like when you are trying to be, if like you want to try, if you sorry if you want to try to be like angry or something, it may not come across to them that we are actually enforcing it properly. So yeah, it's actually like a communication barrier lah, to actually get your point across to them properly. I guess that's one of the most common issues lah with this current situation. Yeah.
Rekha, I
Uh,
think you're now facing my issue. You're muted as well.
yeah, we can't really hear you. No, it's still like muted. Uh oh. It's okay, it's fine. Do you want to move on to Sarah first before so that you can figure out? Okay, so Sarah, what about you? So, what are some challenges faced when communicating with the respective groups of people in your club, in your IG?
Okay, first and foremost, I want to apologize for the noise is surrounding me because right now outside. Hold on, hold
No
on.
worries lah. The fact that you just came from training though, the
Yeah, okay.
dedication.
Okay,
Ching.
so basically for me, um, okay, apart from all these things that has been happening, like since TRCC is closed down in a certain period, then we cannot use our rooms and we cannot meet our members. So, like I felt like that one thing that how to say the challenges that we actually face is basically lack of understanding first, because usually through the kind of communication mode that we have only online, we tend to actually not understand the importance of like necessary things, those information that we need to give out. They don't understand like how important these information are, and also we do not know how to like how to say they how do I explain it? Like when we have members in recruited in our IG, they do not know how um the IG works like. They do not know how TRCC works like. So that's one thing. They do not lack of understanding and lack of like how to say smooth like smooth flowing of information. Yes. Then secondly is basically personal disputes. So in a sense whereby when we don't meet each other for so long. So when there's some kind of miscommunication, you tend to have like how to say you have members dissatisfied on how you communicate and how you make things work and stuff. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. Really, it's fine. I think from that perspective, I really like the fact that even though there are these kind of like situations and how you all have these challenges, right, we are still able to overcome it. And I really get that. Like, I really feel you with the part of lack of understanding. I mean, it will be difficult, especially the year ones who have like barely even been on campus, so they don't really understand how TRCC works and stuff. So yeah, I agree that these challenges may be a bit like, oh, okay, it's quite difficult to overcome. Okay, so what about Rekha? How's your mic situation? Is it good?
Is it working now?
Yes, it's working. Okay, great. Okay.
So sorry. Okay, going back to what I was saying, I agree with Alia's point, having to emphasize things on an online engagement through a virtual screen, because our first interaction with the freshies is online. So even if you want to put our point across, it'll be really difficult. And the way we portray ourselves online and the way we portray ourselves in real life can be two different people, can be two different personality. So yeah, that's I guess one of the main problems that we face.
Yes, I agree. It's the fact that, maybe the way you are in your IG and the way you outside as your personal life may be different. So like how you like when it comes to telling your friend who's also like your personal life friend that you need to do like enforce something, they might not really read it as such. So it's actually quite difficult lah, and I get that. Okay, so Garrick.
Yep, I just want to add on even like it's really really crucial, especially during this kind of period now, where your intent and like the message that you're trying to convey to people can be quite vague at times, especially when everything's so digital. So for the next question is, how do you ensure that whatever information you're trying to pass down to your community would be completed by your IG, especially during this whole entire period where everything is like digital?
I think first and foremost, making use of our group chat is very important. Because SGC is a really big IG, we have a lot of freshies, a lot of our own batchmates. So we really have to emphasize on a lot of things. So having to send mass texts for like for example attendance sheet or like when they have to do like their hip hop and b-boy assessment. So for SGC, we focus on two genres, two dance genres, mainly hip hop and b-boy. So for both of these genres, we do have like um assessments that they have to do every month so that we can monitor their progress even with the online engagement. So to get them to do this, it's also a way to like encourage them and motivate them to actually push themselves to be better dancers and to be better people. We actually like emphasize this and we send it on to their mass text and then we get them to remind each other in their own private like spam group. So yeah.
for Pentas also is actually quite similar. Like we really make use of our WhatsApp group chat to relay our messages. So but for Pentas we really like enforce like they really have to acknowledge whatever long text that we actually send, whatever kind of announcements that we send, they really have to acknowledge it. So like for us as leaders, like the EXCO members also, if we see like those who didn't really acknowledge it, and also because like we have to do it online, it's very hard for us to actually know whether they understand what we say or not. So we always constantly give out constant reminders lah. Although it may be like a bit tiring for us, but I guess like, it's really needed lah. We really have to put in the extra effort to remind them always on like what we remind on the announcements or anything that they really have to take note of. And also like with our mentee mentor group that I said just now, yeah, we remind them in the smaller groups. So because they will actually tend to answer us more in these small groups compared to if we actually tell them in the men's group chat, because they may be like maybe they will feel like a bit shy and all. Yeah.
Hi guys. Okay, so the process for Replug IG is mostly similar to Pentas and SDC, whereby we use our platforms such as WhatsApp or Telegram to communicate. But I mean, as leaders, our exco team, we mostly call out for a meeting usually, because right now most of the students are using MS Teams. So what we do is that we will always set a message for them. So like we make a reminder, okay, like hi guys, next week will be our meeting call. We will discuss about different aspects or different questions that need to be passed down. So they need to acknowledge them. Then, like prior before the meeting, we will always ensure that they set us an attendance list, like who will be coming for this meeting and who would not. Then from there, we will okay. Then we will like okay, let's commence this meeting. So this meeting is the how do I say is um a time whereby we know that okay, everyone is listening. So from there we're like okay, they would sure know this is going to happen in the future, this is going to happen in the next coming future and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, there seems to be quite a common pattern with it. So a lot of the clubs in River Poly like to use the idea of reminding and really enforcing every message, especially when people are unable to read your intent and how serious a message can be. Constantly reminding them and informing them of something can be really crucial, especially at times where there are meetings and events coming up. So next question, on to Haaziq.
I just want to say, wow, today we have a lot of fans for Pentas, Karyawan, and even for Rekha, even for Sarah. So you have a lot of fans out there. Okay, but anyway, time to like get real and actually ask. So I just want to know, like, have you ever encountered a situation where a lack of trust resulted in a negative outcome?
Uh, Actually, yeah. Like there were actually a few times where actually lack of trust was actually the main reason why like a problem actually arise from it. So what actually happened is a member basically like a member doesn't have trust in the other fellow members. So due to this lack of trust, the member doesn't like to delegate the work because she feels like if I give the work to these other people, I feel like they won't give me the work standard that I really want, or they won't really work up the way like work put in as much effort as I would to like get what I want lah. This is what this member feels like lah. So due to this lack of trust, this member basically burdens herself with many stuff, and just because of this lack of trust. So due to this, like I feel like trust is really important, because like to actually put everything on yourself and stress yourself is not good like, because I think like what's very important is that you have to be able to delegate your work properly between like your other members, which is actually the reason why they actually put us in a committee. So yeah, I feel like trust is very important.
For SGC, because committee is very big. So when we first got our roles, we were actually segregated into 5 different departments. These 5 different departments have like different things to settle in the committee itself. And with different departments come different mindsets. There was a segregation in terms of how we get our things done, and like we are always sticking to our own departments. We don't like burst out of that bubble, and like we don't want to share it with we don't want to share like our problems with anyone else outside of the department. And like it was very difficult at first because like communication wise we were not like talking to one another, and we weren't able to like help each other or like update in terms of like whether we are doing the task proper or not. And then like even like general questions that are meant to be asked in like our general like committee group chat are usually asked in like our own department group chats, which created a lot of tension between all of us. So to resolve this, we actually like had a group Zoom call where we communicated with each other, and we make use of like the Zoom call to like actually update each other, like so how's your progress with your department, so how are you guys doing. And if let's say like this certain department is struggling, someone else from another department will actually come over to help them. So this is how we actually managed to build trust with each other.
Okay, so for Replug IG, it's somewhat similar like Pentas and SGC. So practically, I think the reason why we would follow the same process in doing all these things because we are an arts IG. So sometimes to me and to my team, lack of trust can would like equates equates like our workload harder because in a sense whereby like for example my role is a vice president, so I mostly handle admin stuff. Then under me is mostly my admin stuff, my welfare stuff, and my marketing side. So usually we would have like dispute between the admin side and the technical side because usually the technical side they will handle musicality or the music stuff. So sometimes when for example people from the admin side they don't trust the music side to settle these things, they would feel like, oh, I shouldn't do this so I won't do it. Yeah, in a sense whereby they would feel like oh, I don't have to do it. So what we will always do is that we would have an open table practically maybe every month or every 2 months. We usually have this open table whereby everyone we come together, maybe from MS Teams or Zoom. We would speak about these issues lah. So we would be blunt. We would say out our honest thoughts about that person or what they have been doing, what they have not been doing, what have they been contributing and stuff. So from this open table, we would know that okay, this person is not happy from what I'm doing, so I should improve from that. So I felt like this open table is a good way to resolve because not only we can practice like honesty and stuff because from being blind you would know that oh, I did something wrong so I should improve from it. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So what I'm getting from all three IGs is the fact that communication is very important lah. So when you feel like there's this whole negative outcome that happened, it's good to communicate with one another and actually share your feelings. Like for example, from Replug IG, there's this open table where you actually get everyone together around and just say like, oh, this is what happened and give your feedback and stuff. And for SGC, there's this whole Zoom meetings to just share about what happened, and also for Pentas Karyawan is to communicate with one another, even though there's this whole person who like to tank everything and not share that, that's what they're going through. So it's good to have communication. And I feel like without communication, you can't actually get your trust within your members in your IG. Mm. Don't you agree, Garrick?
Definitely, definitely. So for the next question, before we head off for a break, what's your relationship like with your club and IG members? Do you perhaps feel like they are a family or they're more like friends?
For me, since like me and my com members, we actually went through Emergence last year, which is a annual freshie debut showcase that all freshies under SGC will go through. It actually put us in a lot of tough situations, and we actually end up doing a lot of punishments together. But all these actually help us grow together as a batch, and I actually consider them my second family because we've actually been through thick and thin together, and it's actually brought us to where we are now.
Okay, I can honestly say that we are much more than just original IG. We are more like a family together. We have been through like so much with each other, like from the past academic year, especially when we had to go through our different productions. We got scolded. We had to go through different types of physical trainings and all. We were really down, and when we were down, we actually helped each other up. So yeah, I really feel that we have this very close bond with each other, like especially with my current batch. But in PK also, we really enforce that we want us to have strong bonds with not only our batch but also with our other members, like from other batches also, like our year ones, our year twos, and of course our year threes also. So like, because in PK one of our aim is that we also want them to feel like PK, like it's a platform for them to also be who they really are and be respected for who they really are, and also like to find like their true self throughout like their body life. So yeah, like by having these bonds, they actually have like a very comfortable environment for us to actually do our different like trainings and such, yeah, inside the same environment to have these strong bonds with each other. Yeah.
Okay, for Replug IG, okay, personally when I first joined Replug IG, it felt more like a family because I felt that with music I can connect with everyone because music in a sense whereby you use emotions, you use your feelings, you use lyrics to understand each other. So one thing about Replug for now, because since during this pandemic, we were not like say sorry, it's lagging. Okay, so sorry, we do not have the opportunity to meet each other often because due to the current restrictions and stuff that in a sense whereby we cannot jam together and stuff. But even though we are restricted by such guidelines whereby we cannot meet together and sing and stuff. But I felt like the fam the term family comes from you communicating, just having fun and just understanding each other. What we do is before because okay for now we still do not have our own practice. We will recruit them this coming October. So in a sense whereby we would always create like open classes. Then from open classes we would ask their experience and ask them how do you feel. Then from there maybe we just open a talk like friends. Then from there we understand each other. Then okay, it feels like a family and stuff. Then usually we will always hang out like outside, even though it's outside the IG, but the fact that we are already going outside together and eating and have fun, it just felt like a family lah.
Truly, I can definitely relate to this. As someone who has an external club outside of RP, I can really understand how being through a lot of activities and being through pain and joy really helps to bond everyone closer, making everyone feel like they're almost like a second family, exactly like how Rekha has mentioned. So with that, we are coming close to our break. So we'll be taking a short few minutes break while you guys can, all the viewers on YouTube can feel free to post any questions you have for the three panelists and we'll answer them after the break.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So we've now entered the second segment of our live where we'll be answering questions from our panelists. So for the first question we have from we have from oh okay. We have from Ayu Bahira. The question is, how do our fellow panelists stay patient and thoughtful in overcome any challenges that they have faced? Because it takes a lot of endurance in being professional when handling certain issues. Deb. So how do you all actually, stay patient and thoughtful in overcome any challenges? Does anyone want to go first? Rekha, you want to go first?
Sure. Okay, so how do we stay professional when handling all these issues? Because a lot of these issues, like personally for me, I think I have like bad management issues with my temper. So like having sometimes when, cause for SGC we went back to school already for physical trainings, so we get to see like the freshies in real life and we get to interact with them, and some of them can be really mischievous. So in order to keep our cool and to show that professional side of us, we actually approach the situation quite low key. We don't like go upfront to their faces. We make sure that we address the batch as a whole about whatever's going on, and then we pull out the person that's actually causing the problem on his own or on her own, and then we talk to them personally and we try to put our point across gently at first, and if it doesn't go through them yet, then after that we will um, try to assert a stronger point. But I think to be patient with this is to actually also be able to fall back to your committee members. So even if you're the one talking to the person, at least have like your own com members behind you to be supporting you and like to back you up if let's say you don't know what to say to the person who is like, yeah.
I see. All right. What about Pentas Karyawan? How do you overcome these challenges while being patient and professional?
Think like basically everybody basically we always have the professional side to ourselves and the more personal side to ourselves. So when we actually are we putting ourselves out there like as leaders, we have to actually always show the professional side of ourselves. Like for example, if you are in by nature a very quiet person, when you are given something to do, you cannot be that quiet person anymore. You have to really step out of your comfort zone lah. So like for pentas karyawan, I guess like something that we actually do is we always have this annual this circle time. So it's actually it's always being done whenever we feel like it's needed or where there's a problem that actually arise from it. So this circle time is basically where we actually get the members who are involved to like come sit with us in a circle and actually talk about it. So we basically confront each other on it, but we don't really like blast lah. We go like slowly. We let them voice out what they feel first before we like counter back. So it's like why do you feel like this thing is wrong? Why you feel like this thing is right or wrong? So I feel like we cannot just jump to it, because if we jump to it, they won't see the necessity in us to actually scold them for something that they don't feel that whether it's wrong or right. So we have to make them feel that it is wrong before we actually just go and scold them about it. Yeah.
I see.
Okay,
So,
so
oh, sorry. Yes, you can
so
continue.
sorry. Okay, so for Replug IG is basically the same like Pentas Karyawan, but for Replug IG usually we will always have our circle time. So for example, like if personally as person, like if you cannot work with the other person, we don't confront them as friends, in a sense whereby we will always portray ourselves in the role that we are having. Then for example, I am met with this particular person, I won't go on and blast out to them. I would be more understanding, in a sense whereby I would just ask what's going on, what's happening, are you okay? Then I would ask what are their measures or what would they do to resolve. Then after whatever they like how to say answer all of them, then they would like in a sense whereby they would just okay, once they give an answer, then from there we would give them measures on how to resolve and stuff. Yeah.
I see. So, through having that kind of like how Pentas Karyawan said that we have this whole like circle time where we actually discuss with them and tell them with the soft approach lah first that this is something that's been going on that's wrong before you actually like scold and attack them, because if we do that other way it will be very like hectic and they won't understand and stuff. And from Sarah's point of view, I think it's also correct. We just have to confront them like if they are our friends, we have to confront them in a way that we are doing our job and our role. We can't just be like very like soft or to them, because at the end of the day, if we are like that, then like they might not even take us seriously. So yeah, I think those are great points raised. So the next question I'll pass to Garrick.
Before I even head on to the next question, I want to jump on this. It's truly a really interesting question because I believe that no matter what kind of challenge or crisis you face, you really have to understand that the person on the other screen or even other case is still human. No matter who the challenge is, no matter what the challenge is, whoever we're talking to is still human and they have feelings as well. We have to always understand that and empathize with them. Maybe it's not always their fault that a crisis has occurred. So another question that's come from, let me see, Titi Mariam, is a question specifically for Rekha, but the rest can jump in as well. So you mentioned the process that you go through to pass a message to your members. There were various group chats. So how many group chats do you have and what are their purposes?
Because a lot of the things are now online and we have to pass our message on, right? So we do have a lot of WhatsApp groups. We have separate ones for like our own batch for the freshies, with the committee members for the freshies on their own without us, so that they can communicate freely there. For my own committee members and then like the different departments in the committee members as well. These groups are just for us to be able to emphasize on what we want to say to the freshies or what we want to pass on the message to the other people in our IG, as well as to like update each other on like our progress in terms of the task given to us, as well as like our own welfare being like, are you okay, like do you have any issues that you're facing, and like yeah, these groups are mainly like just for communication purposes. It's been done by our previous, like those above us, and we're just like, we think it's a good way to help communicate with each other. And as well as the group that the freshies have without us, it's initially created by my president first. She'll create the group with them, and then after that she will get them to introduce themselves there, and then she will leave. So like this way we are certain and we feel secure and safe and know that our freshies are actually communicating with each other. Yeah.
That's really interesting. But to spill the tea, how many group chats do you have?
um I don't know. I think maybe 15 to 20.
Wow, this sounds like it's really busy.
That's a lot though. That's really a lot of group chats, but I hope everything is well maintained lah. Okay, so for the next question is from Purple Tree. How do you ensure the four most common elements to strengthen your trust with your own club/IG? So the four most common elements to strengthen is competence, reliability, integrity, and communication. Sharifa, you want to go first?
I think like those are actually the four factors that actually helps us to gain trust in somebody. Yeah. So firstly for competency, I personally feel like okay, so competency is basically like the ability for someone to do something successfully, right? But like how do you trust is but trust if someone is like competent enough to do that thing. So for me, I feel like as leaders, we have to take the extra mile and actually get to know your members properly, get to know to what extent are their capabilities. Are they able to do this to what extent? Like, are they good in this or are they bad in this? So it's from there is we know that whether we can trust them to do different types of stuff. Yeah, that one's for competency. Then for reliability, um to rely in someone doesn't necessarily mean that we trust in them, but it's actually like taking a step towards getting like trusting them lah. So like you will rely on different types of people for different types of things. That's why like for in PK we really encourage people to actually help each other so that we can actually rely on one another lah. So because of this, from this we can actually develop trust in one another also. For integrity is just like the it's just basically ensuring that they tell us the truth at all times. Like for example, if you cannot come training, why can't you come training? Like please tell us the truth lah. Especially for like during this like COVID situation, we have those online training, so it may not be as fun as normal training. So like sometimes members tend to not actually come for it. So like we really enforce that they tell us the real reason why they cannot come for it lah. Yeah. And lastly, for communication, I feel like communication is actually very, very, very important, because if it's very hard for you to communicate with your members itself, it's very hard to actually develop the relationship with them. And if you cannot develop the relationship with them, then like whatever we do in the IG also, it will not be fun, it will not be like exciting. Like everything we do will just be just for the sake of like artistic excellence and just there, but not more than that. Yeah.
For me, competency, right? Because we were given the roles by our seniors and advisors. So I think that already shows that we are competent enough. Like they believe that we are capable, and we accepted the roles because we know that we are capable. So that element has already contributed to trust. So for reliability, if let's say our like co-members are having difficulty completing their given task because of like their own personal problems, I think we have to step in and help them, and then know so that they know that they actually have a team to fall back on. So that's reliability to me. For integrity, it's as simple as being honest with our opinion. So let's say if someone suggests something and you don't think it's gonna work, I think it's best if we speak out and like let them know how we feel about it, because this is to help build a better future for the IG, and as well as admitting to our mistakes if we actually did them, so that we can work around it and not repeat it again. So for communication, it's more of like instead of being segregated into different cliques, because for my committee, it's a big committee, so there are cliques inside. So it's best if we communicate with each other to strengthen the bond and understand one another. So this will help us to trust each other and to work together for the better of the IG.
For Replug IG, for sure we are competent because our seniors picked us to be in our own roles for a reason. So usually those people who have their roles, we actually have our necessary performing or working experiences. So basically this working and like working and performing experiences are basically mostly based on JCC. So we are able to actually guide our juniors to prepare them for their future tasks lah, because is in a sense whereby we are stuck in this current COVID situation. Time flies so fast to me, at least. So I felt like we should from our competency to actually guide them, we should already train them to do what they need to do lah in the future, such as like how to say, why do I say okay, it's such that like we have to prepare for production, yeah, etc. So for reliability, we have our seniors, which we call them student advisors. So basically, they are the ones who would help us to ensure that they are able to teach, or they are able to guide us or teach the juniors with the knowledge that they have as student advisors. So in a sense whereby our exco group, we have our seniors to depend on, so it's considered reliability to me. And yeah, like for example, for music director, that um, which is a role in our exco team, the purpose of the juniors joining the IG to find new things and stuff. So the music director has to like work with the juniors and like in a sense whereby they have to like help them find that sense in music and help them believe in what they can actually get through. Okay, so for integrity, our expos, we have to always be honest with everyone and the reason why they need to follow like a certain learning process and stuff, and the benefits that they get from it. So as expos, we always have to ensure integrity, because without integrity, how can we actually continue doing our job as our role? Yeah. As for communication, as experts, we should be open to certain critiques, and also um, whatever problems or communication wise, we have to be blunt and honest, and also we have to instill the proper way in maintaining trust and responsibility. So as a member of Reply IG, basically it's our responsibility also to ensure that we open up ourselves to the juniors, so the juniors can understand us and we can understand the juniors. So they will feel somewhat comfortable to speak up to us, yeah, to know what's right and wrong.
I see. I think to sum up everything, I feel like these four most common elements to strengthen a trust in your IG or club is really important, and it's really something that you need to have, and it's already in your own IGs. So I feel that with this, you can actually proceed to have that trust and bond between your own IG members and your own committee members. So do we have any more questions? Oh wow, that's a very interesting question. It is it's for a collab. So does RPSC, RPSC, PK, SGC, Replug, y'all want to collab? No lah, kidding. But I think that would be a very interesting collab though, if between PK, SGC and Replug, if y'all ever had like a huge performance and then all of y'all would just perform together. So maybe that's something y'all can actually um suggest. Okay, so the other question is, what do you find most difficult to share with your club/IG members? From Purple Tree.
I think personally for me, even with my committee members, we are actually good friends outside of SGC. But I think I still find it difficult to share my personal problems, like if it's pertaining to my family or like my own personal relationship with other friends. So I find it difficult to like share it with them because like I think there's a limit to how much I can share. And also I'm one who likes to think her problems on her own. So yeah, but I do share what I can with my IG friends, and like they also share with me what they can, so we can help each other and grow to be better together.
I think it's actually quite similar to what Rekha said. It's like we are actually, as an IG, for me and my batch, we're actually very close with each other, but I also feel like there is a certain limit to what I will share with them. For example, like problems maybe that I have at home or with my family, like that kind of stuff. I won't really go into that when I tell them like different types of stories that I will share. So yeah, but then like what I can share, like things maybe related to school or maybe my friends at school or maybe matters in the IG, yes, I will definitely share to them to actually lessen my burden, like to get things off my shoulders.
I think as an expo, we usually will share our experiences and our knowledge from our past experiences and stuff. So basically, for me, as an expo, I have another expo role back then when I was in ITE. So basically, I took up that expo role in ITE. So basically, that is something that I would love to share because I've learned a lot of skills, a lot of things to be shared with everyone. But then something that shouldn't be shared, usually mostly about my personal problems and stuff, because I felt like the world doesn't revolve around us that much. So as much as we want to, like, for example, if I'm stuck in a situation whereby, I cannot attend this kind of like how to say class from Replug IJ and stuff, I couldn't use the reason like, I have family problems and stuff. Yeah, like in a sense, but I just felt like selfish for me to do that. So yeah, that's the only thing that I feel like we shouldn't share lah, in a sense.
I definitely agree with the points brought up by the three panelists. There is really a clear distinction between what is something we call private and something that's really about social subjects. So stuff such as like skills, knowledge, we can easily share with them, especially when it's very like applicable. However, when it comes to like private and personal stuff that really belongs to us, I feel that it's something that truly shouldn't be shared unless it's really people that you're extremely close with. Wouldn't you agree, Haaziq?
Yes, of course. So with that, all of the answers, we have actually come to the end of our ninth episode of Project Lead. Thank you so much to the panelists for coming on board and discussing with us about building trust in your groups. So for the viewers out there watching, thank you so much for your energy and your hype. I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure all of us appreciate it. If y'all have any more questions that y'all want to ask, y'all can check out our Republic Poly Student Council's Instagram, Pentas Karyawan's Instagram, Style Groovaz Crew's Instagram, and Replug IG's Instagram. With that, thank you so much. Do tune in to the next episode next week. Hopefully, if there's no more episodes, we'll update y'all. All right. Okay. So bye bye. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.